Hello, Tamily. It's time for episode 121 of Ask Tamily. And our guest today is Morgan. Her Instagram name is Morgan MSU underscore Tam. And we're going to be connecting in just a second. Hello.
Hi. My head's on the right way this time.
It is. That's always good.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Morgan, and for being interview 121 of Ask Tamily.
Yeah. Thank you for asking me.
Super excited. So we have some questions planned for you, but of course we'll also take live questions in the chat.
Okay.
So anyone can type in questions anytime. But we'll go ahead and jump right in with our favorite question, which is when and how did you start with the Tracy Anderson method?
So I started streaming July 2017. And when my mom and I started together, and basically from like day one until now, we've been doing it together. And neither one of us had done anything with Tracy. So like I didn't know anything about her DVDs, books, nothing. We just like jumped right into streaming and never looked back. And
Awesome.
I was talking to my husband Marcus right before this about this question, and I said that I was going to tell everyone that we were the worst students ever because we didn't listen. Like I didn't know anything about it. We started Attain like from the very beginning. I had no idea what size ankle weights to use. It would just kind of just like went for it and did it.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So thank God no one saw us. And, you know, as we're using 2.5-pound ankle weights during like a hydrant pull saying, why is this so hard? And she's using 1.5-pound weights. So finally, you know, after doing it maybe a couple months, we committed and bought the correct size weights. But we didn't listen in the beginning.
So it's hard to learn. How did you like come upon the streaming if you hadn't heard of Tracy before?
Well, my mom had heard about Tracy like from years and years ago, but it's actually a funny story. My parents had lived in China for a couple years, and my dad got involved in like this group of guys that went golfing, and he met this guy named Jeff. Well, Jeff was Hillary Rhoda's dad, the supermodel.
Uh-huh.
So my mom like found out about her, started kind of looking and following her on Instagram, and then saw all her videos of her like doing Tracy Anderson. So then when they had moved back, my mom and dad, she told me we need to check this out. Like, let's start looking into it. And so she found the streaming, and then we just signed up and went for it.
That is so incredibly awesome.
Yeah.
So at this point, are you still doing Attain all the time?
Pretty much. I like will do, you know, fundamental, like a lot of other people, you know, maybe once a week or something.
Mhm.
Or there's a lot of times where we'll do the Attain class, and then, you know, if I want to do 20 or 30 extra minutes, I'll do like the part of fundamental before she puts the heavy weights on. Or it just kind of depends what each week's class is like.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm dead after Attain, then I don't do anything more, but I definitely take advantage of the days where I have more energy to add a little bit more on. So
how about the dance cardio?
I love dance cardio. And I started like getting really serious into the dance cardio when we had the Chicago meetup. So before that, I would do mostly like all the beginner type classes of dance cardio. And I think I was just too afraid to really commit to like learning the dances. And then when was it Cassie was coming up with the survey of what dance we were gonna do, I just clicked one. I was like, I have no idea. This one looks good. And it was the one with Anne Claire from December. And so then I started, I looked up like all the dances that were in it. And then we started learning each one individually. And it's funny, when we went to Chicago, I thought everyone did dance cardio. Like, I honestly did. I just thought everybody just did. So after we did the class, and the ladies were like, okay, you know, whoever's doing the dance, stay after. And then, like, one by one, everyone starts leaving. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What have I gotten myself into? And I was like this close to saying, no, I'm not going to do it. But I spent like a month learning all of those things. So I just was like, no, I'll stay and do it. And after that, like, I'm so hooked to it. I love it. I see people post on Instagram or like the Facebook pages saying, I think the dance cardio is so boring or whatever. And I just think, what are you comparing it to? Like I think riding a bike is boring. I think you just have to give it like a fair shot and just really just go for it.
Yeah,
Because it is so fun.
it is. It's difficult. So I'm not one that is committed, but the athleticism that it takes, oh, it's so amazing.
It is, I mean, it is so difficult. Like you have to work yourself up to it. You do 5 minutes, and I really think it helps. I think a lot of people's problem with dance cardio is they go straight into doing like a catalyst or a catapult. So that you get 3 minutes in and they're so frustrated. Well, of course you're going to be frustrated because this is like choreographed.
Yeah.
I spent probably a year doing all beginner stuff. And you know, the greatest thing was when I then jumped into like a catalyst dance, I was like, oh, I recognize this move. I recognize this move because I had like built so much of the foundation from doing so much beginner.
Yeah.
So I think if you just put the time into doing the beginner stuff and saying like, in the long run, I'll do so much better at the more advanced things if I just stick with beginner for a while.
Yeah.
Then it gets so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I recognize so much. So there's my PSA to you about doing dance cardio.
Eventually, everyone will let it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all what is fun to you, and the amount of time you have.
Right. But you know, I think that's a good point that you make, though, because I think people sometimes think, I don't have time for that, but you can do 5 minutes at a time.
Oh yeah.
And work up to it and learn, you know, just pieces at a time.
Right. If you set your outfit out and have all your stuff sitting there, there's probably 5 minutes that I just saved you by instead of gathering it all.
Yeah.
You know, and you do it. You either decide that you always do it before. I like to do my dance cardio before the mat class. Because when I first tried to do dance cardio after doing the Attain class, I thought I had like bricks on my feet. Like I could not pick my feet up off the ground.
Yeah.
They felt so heavy.
Yeah, especially with Tracy's like method that she wants you to be as light as possible.
Yeah.
For Attain. I don't know how people do it.
I looked like Frankenstein, like trying to stomp around. It was so bad.
So now that you've been doing the method for, I guess it's over 3.5 years,
Yeah, yeah.
what kind of results have you seen sort of over time?
I think like physically there are results that I'll say stick. Like you could go a couple days or a couple weeks, whatever, and I don't feel like I'm gonna go off the deep end and like my pants won't fit or something. But where like other stuff, I used to do Bikram yoga religiously, and I never felt like that truly stayed with me. It's like I had to do it every day. I was in the room 90 minutes,
Mhm.
and it just didn't give me like lasting results.
Mhm.
And then I think beyond physical, just like I just feel so sharp and kind of on it, and like my coordination.
Mhm.
And my mom and I always joke, we'll tell each other stories of like something that happened to us that our Tracy Anderson has trained us for. So like an example, my mom one time was at the grocery store and she was like putting apples in the bag, and she dropped it, and she was able to like squeeze her knees together and catch the bag before it hit the ground. And so we always joke about that kind of stuff. Like if we didn't do Tracy Anderson, I wouldn't be that quick to be
Mhm.
able to catch something before it dropped on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. So true.
When you I mean, when you really think about what you learned from like tracking her and stuff, you're so quick to, or like think if you're walking and you were about to trip, like you catch yourself so much easier.
Exactly. I don't. There's no way I'd have any coordination if it wasn't for
Oh
her.
no. Or like you think about, um we always joke with classes, Tracy has taught me how to get up off the floor without like any arms or legs.
Yes.
Or like, or how to, we say, I know 1,000 ways to use a chair without sitting on it.
Oh, that's so true. Oh my gosh. So, Morgan, we have a question for you in the chat. This is
Yes.
Nicole. She said, "Will you please tell us about your Beyond Epic Tam Cave?"
Which one? So, um, the original Tam Cave, that is at my mom's house. And we actually tore down walls and fully built this room. And it's like being in Tracy's studio. It's awesome. It's fully insulated so that it stays hot because we're in Michigan, so it gets, I mean, it's like 42 degrees outside. It's freezing today and windy. So it's fully insulated. We have 3 humidifiers, and then our heater is connected directly to the electrical, the breaker box or whatever, so that it gets really hot.
Mhm.
Like we set it, the highest it'll go is 99, and we turn it all the way up, and usually the whole time we're in there it's like 97. And the humidity is probably like in the summer our little thing will read like 85%.
Oh my God.
Right now, since it's getting colder, it's probably like in the mid 70s.
Mhm.
And then we usually would start dancing beforehand to get it warmed up even more.
Mhm.
And then she has Tracy's original floor in
Okay.
that room. And then we just built now in my house a room for me to use, which basically it has the same heater, humidifiers, everything. And because of Tracy's floor, my dad and husband they're very handy, so they kind of recreated the floor. So I'm going to have one in my basement now. And then my parents actually have a place in Florida.
Mhm.
And so they built a floor that we have in the garage in Florida. So
That is amazing.
if dance cardio, if you don't think it's important to us, now you do. If I could have a 4x4 little travel dance bouncy floor to bring with me everywhere, I would.
Yeah, that doesn't really seem like it would be that difficult to pull off.
I mean, in a suitcase, if I'm traveling somewhere, I need to have ankle weights, tennis shoes, and my dance floor.
it's really not that different than many of us. Like,
No,
even traveling with hand weights, like when we were using 5 pounds, I would feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm not going to be able to have my threes and my five.
I know.
My ankle weights were crazy.
I have gone through a lot of airport security with ankle weights, and every single time my bag gets flagged, I say, it's because of my ankle weights.
Absolutely.
They know.
So Morgan, who in the Tamily inspires you?
I think if I chose like the ultimate, it would be, I mean, Tracy's not a part, well, she's the head of the Tamily.
Yeah.
I think she is my all-time inspiration because she doesn't give up on us. You know, like how long have you been streaming?
I think 5.5 years.
Okay, so like say you have been through a lot of her life stuff that's happened, you know.
Yeah.
And it does it not amaze you that when she has a huge major event, she still teaches the class. She's still there. I think in my whole time of streaming, there's been one time that Courtney taught a class, and then there was like one time where the classes came up like a day late, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I think from my training of doing the hot yoga and like I taught hot Pilates classes, stuff like that. My mom and I had a studio together. So like we were always used to everyone counting on us, and no matter what was going on in your life, like we still had to show up for everybody. No one cared if there was a problem, like you just did it. And I think with Tracy, like finding someone that does those things for us, like it made me so happy because it was like finally I can rely on somebody else too. Not everyone just relying on me. So, but then like beyond just Tracy, I think there's so many women on Instagram that in the Tamily that I love just looking at everyone's videos because I just like to see what everybody does, you know, every day. And I don't post much because well, it's like too many devices to have in the room.
Seriously.
I never realized how annoying it was that I can't play music on my phone while I record.
Yeah.
That's basically why I don't ever record, because I play on my Bluetooth speaker, Spotify, but then I can't video at the same time. So I don't know. Well, and I can't use a laptop in our room because it gets too hot and it shuts down.
Yeah, you don't need to be breaking laptops.
No, I mean within like a minute, the thing pops up saying like Mayday, Mayday, it's too hot.
That is crazy.
So like we use a TV to have it on there, and I use a Fire Stick, and then I can see her. But anyway, but what I was gonna say, like I love looking at all of Cassie's Sastam's stories because I just like how she's just so honest.
Yeah.
She said something a couple weeks ago in like a long thing about dance cardio. And she said, where everyone thinks, you know, dance like no one's watching, no, don't do that. Dance like everyone's watching. And I thought that's so perfect because that is true. Because if you think about when someone's dancing like no one's watching, they're like all over the place and not really accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
If you dance like everyone's watching, you're gonna try harder.
Yeah, that's the performance
Yeah.
that Tracy says makes the difference in your results.
Oh, it so does. I mean, when there's like I have a handful of the catapult dances that will like rotate between, and there's one by Mally that's like one of the very first ones. It is so hard when you can really do it because you don't take any breaks. Like you know exactly what to do, and so by the end of it, I mean, I'm about like cramping up because you just say I'm dancing my heart out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Morgan, I think you've been, into fitness for probably your entire life. Can you tell us about some of the other methods that you've done before and then why you decided to, be dedicated to Tracy?
So I have not been into fitness my whole life.
You've tricked
I
us all.
what?
You've tricked us all.
Yeah. I really didn't get into like much. I mean, I've never been like a team sports person at all. So in high school, I played golf. So maybe there's where a little bit of my coordination comes
Yeah.
from. But I have zero experience with dance. I'll tell you that. Absolutely zero. I think I did gymnastics for like 2 weeks in kindergarten, and they expected me to do a cartwheel using my left arm, and I'm right-handed, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I quit after that. So I got like my mom and dad were always runners. So my mom would try to kind of get me to run with her. So I got into that like in college because it was easy and you could do it at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after graduating, I went and I did a teacher training for Bikram yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a 9-week program where we did 2 classes a day. I think over the course of it, it's like 99 classes. And that is in 105 degrees with 40% humidity. So like I am so trained to be in the heat that it doesn't bother me at all. And then with the yoga, I kept running and I would do that like as well. And my mom, she actually was the one that got me into the Bikram yoga. She did it first and then I did it so that we could open a studio together.
Mm-hmm.
And then after doing the yoga, probably maybe 6 or 7 years, is when we started streaming. And like, I still did yoga. I still was doing the classes and like, just different things each day. And when I first started streaming, I think I would do maybe 3 or 4 times a week just because, I didn't have time to do yoga, the streaming every single day. And I was too tired to be in the hot room that often. But then it was like, I just felt so different, I think, from doing like the Attain class versus yoga. Like just, the energy that Tracy talks about when you're done, like that whole day you have, just feel so much better. So I kind of slowly backed off of doing the yoga and added more of the muscular structure class until I really wasn't doing the Bikram anymore. And I was doing strictly her method. And I think it's probably been a year and a half, I would say, since we've fully only done her stuff, dance cardio, the muscular structure. I just like, I feel I have to continue to remind myself, like, trust and Tracy, she knows what she's talking about. She's been doing it for long enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's when we add all the other noise and all the other stuff that I think we question her method.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, I need to stop trying to add all this extra stuff
Mm-hmm.
and just focus on that. Because that's what I love the most. And,
Yeah.
I don't know, like for you, Marcus, my husband, he got that, have you heard of the Obey Fitness?
Yeah.
It's another streaming. So he does that. He'll do like strength training classes and stuff. And when he first started doing it, he turned on a class and the trainer was like talking and telling him what to do. And I was like, I cannot listen to this. I gotta go. It was like, it is just so, I couldn't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I needed it to just be quiet with my music and no other distractions.
Yes, I totally agree. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand people talking
No,
workout. I've done a couple bar classes with friends and stuff, and I'm like, stop talking to me. Like,
yeah,
terrible
I think
experience.
people probably like your friends that would, if you go to another class with them, they look at you like, what's wrong with you? Like, just, it's not that big of a deal. And it's like, when you've been streaming this class for 5 years and you're never told what to do and you just trust yourself and how it feels, and that's how you learn the form, that's what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I mean, I know Tracy says it in her talks, like no one can tell you how to move your own body.
Right.
You just have to learn it. And I think that's what I feel so much more accomplished when I do her stuff, because I had to teach myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to feel it. I think
Figure it out.
Yeah, you have to figure it out. And I remember when we were at the Vitality Week and I asked her about doing those starfish planks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like getting so frustrated because I was just like, just tell me what to do. But then after thinking about it more and more, it's like she couldn't tell me. I had to just do it.
Right. You have to find it inside your
'Cause,
body. Like,
everyone has their own weaknesses or maybe something that they're afraid of that is kind of like creating a mental block that's why they can't do it. And she can't tell me that that's what it is. I got to figure it out on my own and then break through it.
yep, exactly.
Anyway.
So, on that note, is there a Tracy move that you used to hate that you now love?
Well, I wouldn't say I love it now, but all those starfish planks, I've finally, like, I feel like I can say I've figured them out
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, a lot more than when I first started. When I first started, I just would look at her like, how is she doing that? I don't know where to put this, where to do with my leg. I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's probably the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
And just like learning, the angles when you do stuff with attitude or whatever. It's funny. Like I never did dance, so I didn't know all of these terms, like ballet terms.
Right.
And I was watching, we've been watching Suits on like Amazon Video or whatever. And there was this one episode where it's about the ballet and their floor, they're saying, is causing injuries like in the ballerinas and stuff. And so the one lawyer comes in and he's talking to these other guys and he says that the floor is causing a change in the dancer's attitude. And I was like, I know what that means.
Oh, that's so funny.
I thought that was really good the way they said that.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So Morgan, how do you get and stay motivated to work out on such a regular basis?
I think you just have to, it's part of me. It's part of my routine. I, that's what I do it every day. Pretty much it's just the length of how much I work out that changes day to day. But I don't know, like, what's those sayings? It takes like 21 days to create a habit or something. It's just so deep inside of me as a habit now, and I know how much better I feel when I do it. If I don't, then I think about all day, well, I really should have probably just done that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what's 1 hour or what's even 45 minutes if you skip something or whatever. I just, like, when we travel anything, I make sure that there's space for me to do Tracy Henderson, or there's a gym that you can do it in, or whatever, and you make sure you bring your stuff, and it's just, it is what you do, what you do. Like Tracy had talked about at the Vitality Week, like not making your workout get in the way of other people, or like if you have holiday gatherings or whatever, you get up early, you do it. That's the same thing it is for me. It's like if I have something I have to do at a certain time, it's like you just get up earlier, and you do it, or you find, you're going to do it in the afternoon after you've gotten home or whatever it is. It's just when you like make it part of your schedule, it's harder for you to cancel on it, I think.
Do you try to always usually do it first thing in the morning, or what is your routine?
A lot of times at like 10 or 10:30 in the, like, probably the earliest I ever do it is like 9 or something, just because I'll let the room heat up, kind of poke around, take my time, because I'm just like not ready, not committed to do it. And every time I don't do it in the morning and I like save it for an afternoon workout, my mom and I will say, don't ever let me do this again. It is so hard to do it. Like, do it in the morning. But there's just, there'll be maybe once a week that I'll wait and I'll do it in the afternoon. But then every time in the middle of it, I'm like, I'm never doing this again. Because I'm too tired, or the whole time I'm thinking about dinner.
Right. What did you think about the experience of being at the Vitality Week and also at a studio?
Well, I've been to 3 of the studios. So I've been to 59th Street twice, I think, and then Watermill for the Vitality, and then I went to Studio City. And each one is so different. Like, I went when I was in California. We were there early in the morning, so it wasn't very busy at that time, and it's different trainers, different people, whatever. That was fun. And then 59th Street, I love that one because it's just like, it's so busy and there's just so much going on. And I remember I took a class there on a Saturday morning, and there was like 45 people in the room. So that was like a huge major challenge to not kick someone or get kicked. Like at the Vitality Week, same thing. It's like, I always laugh when there's certain routines that come up in the advanced class, and I'm like, I wonder if Tracy thinks about this in the studio, like how these people maneuver around.
Yeah.
Like, I would be terrified to be doing that headstand in a studio right now, because I'd topple over and hit somebody.
Yeah.
But
we were at a Vitality Week in Charleston, and someone asked about, like, we're so on top of each other and it's so cramped. And I thought she was going to say, I'm really sorry, like, we'll work through it or whatever. And she responded and said, like professional basketball players do their best work with their competition pushing right against their body. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like
How dare she say that?
to give us sympathy. You're going to tell us to figure it out, get coordinated and do
Right.
it.
Deal with it.
I mean, such a badass response. And it's exactly what to do.
I think that's why I love her so much, is because it's just honesty.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so with the Vitality Week, I loved that experience of just getting, basically say, to just hang out with her after, because she was just honest.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a sales pitch of, buy this product of mine,
Right.
or do this. I mean, remember she had the book, that How Not to Die.
Mm-hmm.
She kept reference, it's not like she came out with her book and is like, read my book, do this.
Right. And
yeah.
she could.
She totally could. She could have had a table set up with all of her stuff, and I would have been like, I'll buy this, this, and this.
Well, she would eat it right up.
Oh yeah. She was like, so it's just, she's giving you her workout and you just do it, basically. And with, there's one story from that Vitality Week. I don't know if you remember it, but my mom and I bring it up to each other all the time. The one lady, her name was Barbara.
Okay.
And she talked about how all day long she can keep track of what she's eating, but then in the evening, it's like she just wants to eat everything or go crazy. And Tracy was like, oh, so Bad Barbara comes out? And she was like, yes, you're right. It's like, I can't stop. So that's like my mom and I's running joke sometimes with each other, is we'll say, yeah, Bad Barbara came out last night, when I just like eat a bunch of snacks or like eat a bunch of sugar or whatever.
That's funny. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. So, it's just, you just be honest with what's going on, and you just get back on track then the next thing.
So we know you've obviously met Tracy because of being at that Vitality Week. What has, the experience been like to get to talk to her?
I mean, it was just fun, like, to be in her presence. Because, and I'm so happy that they kept doing the talks after the class, because I remember when we were at our Vitality Week, somebody said, we love those talks. Like, please keep doing them, because it makes us feel like we're at the studio. Mm-hmm. And so I just feel like our group at Vitality Week, like, it's our responsibility that everybody gets those. Because somebody said, like, please keep doing those. We love them. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I feel then kind of back to being at the Vitality with her, having those talks all the time, because she's just honest with you. Mm-hmm. What was it, a couple weeks ago in the Attain class, she said, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've gained 2 pounds and I'm not happy about it. And she's like, this girl likes to eat and she doesn't want to be told she can't. And I was like, during that talk, I thought, she's in my head right now. She knows what I'm thinking, because I don't ever want to be told I can't eat more. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a lot of times during those talks, she's talking to me.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like she's inside of all of our heads.
Yeah.
It's so often that it's like, that is exactly what I needed to hear.
I know. How is it that all of us are thinking that each week? I don't understand, but it seems each one of us, it comes up that, like, that hits us the same way. So I feel like we're all on this, you're in this journey together, because we have to be if we're all thinking those same things.
It is so crazy. Like, even if I'll say something like, oh, this is too hard and I want to go to, start or beginners.
Yeah.
And in like the next talk, she'll be like, "Don't let yourself drop
Yeah.
down the story."
She references it, and you're like, oh,
It's
how did she
crazy.
know? I know. When she told us to not dumb ourselves down, I was like, oh, gosh, she just knows.
She
She
does.
knows that I needed that extra oomph this week to say, don't back down. Just keep
Mhm.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
She
I
does.
mean, that's why she's been doing what she's been doing for so long. And it, because I feel like so many people can, like, they connect with her and they just, what she says means something to them. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So what would your advice be to someone that is new to the method?
I think, just like with any other fitness or whatever, like you can't give up. And I see so many people, like there's a Facebook group that I joined. I don't remember what it's called, but I see so many people post on there like, I'm a newbie. Do you guys have any advice? I'm so intimidated. Or that's the one thing I see so many people say is like they're so intimidated. And I just want to tell them, what, like, don't be intimidated. You're at your house by yourself. No one's watching you. You can do whatever you need to do to make it work. It's your choice to film it and to post it.
Right.
Like, if if it takes you 10 tries to figure something out, who cares? Nobody knows except for you. And so have, like, I think from having the yoga and the fitness studio and being around so many people that just, they wanted to give up so easily because they didn't see results so within a week, or they saw results for the first 2 months, but then after 6 months they stopped seeing results and they thought, well, now I need to switch and do something else. It's like, you need to be in it for the long haul, because that's where your results are going to come.
Mm-hmm.
You're constantly switching around, your body's just confused.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing too, that you can do this method for years and years, and you're going
Yeah.
to keep seeing more and more results and
I
get.
think that I think that's why we run into so many people that have been doing it for so long,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not bored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't be there. I mean, it changes all the time, and there's so many choices. Like
I
now,
know.
with the bonus stuff with a ball in it, I'm like, do I really have to go and get a ball?
I know. I When they started doing they were like, when she stopped doing the chair for a little bit and then added the chair and the bonus stuff, I was like, oh my God, Tracy, you're killing me. I don't have time to do, like, I want to try everything,
Yes.
but I don't have time, or my legs are tired. Because even all this stuff this week, like you said, with the ball, it's like, I want to do it, but then it becomes an afterthought after I've done like all the other stuff.
It's so many choices.
Yeah.
So I know your mom is clearly a workout partner of yours.
Yeah.
Have two of you converted anyone else to being a devoted Tammer?
So I have a friend of mine that came to our studio, and we actually closed it in December. And we tell ourselves every day, thank God we don't have that anymore, because it's so crazy, right now.
Yeah.
But there was a girl who came there, and when we were getting ready to close, I told her, I think you'll really like this workout. Go, it's a 2-week free trial, do this. And she did it. She loves it. She went and like ordered the nice ankle weights, and everything. Her husband got her an iPad for her birthday, so she had like her own thing, and it makes me so happy. Like, we text each other about the new weeks and stuff that come out. Like, what do you think about this? And it's like my favorite thing to talk about. So
Totally. So, how did you discover the Tamily on Instagram? Like, because you started streaming before
yeah.
any of that, right?
Well, when we were kind of looking up the streaming and like just you know, because that's everybody does that now. It's like you research everything before you commit to it.
Mhm.
I think I just went on Instagram and probably in like the search button typed in Tracy Anderson or whatever. And, you know, of course, Loretta is going to come up.
Of course.
So I remember we found her account and we're just scrolling through some of the videos. And I was like, before we streamed, we were like, okay, we're going to try these 5 moves that Loretta posted and see how it goes. And I remember looking at them. And, you know, when you record, it's like a mirror image.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out how to like switch. It was the hardest thing ever. Like to watch her face head on and then to try to recreate it. I was like, if this doesn't make me feel like an idiot, I don't know what would.
It's serious brain work. Oh my gosh.
But now I could do that in my sleep. But the first time I looked at it and it was like the hardest math problem I've ever tried to solve in my life. So, I think, you know, I found her and I remember like reading one of her captions for a thing and it was like something about doing IMC. And I was like, what is IMC? Or she would say AMC. I mean, it took us months to figure out what that meant. And it was like the greatest day. I went to my mom. I was like, I figured it out. It's intermediate math class.
That is so funny that you point that out. I bet that's really a challenge for new people.
Yeah.
Especially because we changed the names and then some people still call them old names. Like,
I know. All the time, yeah, I call it advanced, intermediate. I see people all the time, they'll say like something about, I did fundy, blah, blah, blah. And someone will be like, what's that? And you're like, it's the fundamental class. But there's like so much slang or like terms that you don't even realize.
Yeah, like the first time I saw someone post something about OC, I was like, what on earth is that? OC? Like
opening ceremony, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like not arms, but opening ceremony, and then to abbreviate it. Like we need a little bit of a dictionary for our new people.
I think that people would benefit so much if there was like a welcome packet.
That's such a great idea.
Because like I think when I first started streaming, I didn't even know there was multiple classes to choose from, which I don't even know what there really was at the time.
Right. Back then, yeah.
Well, obviously there was an IMC and an AMC. I know that. But I don't think I ever checked out the IMC because I thought, I know fitness, I'm going to do advanced no matter what.
Yep.
But I think seriously having like something that people are like, you know, start here with dance cardio, start here with your ankle weights. Because not up until just, I feel like recently they started actually saying what the pounds were for an ankle. It was just large and small.
Yeah. And people would ask all the time, like, well, how many pounds is it? And then there's like disagreements about whether it's 3 pounds or 2.5.
I've seen 2.5 pounds. I've seen 3. I've seen the small ones be 1.5 or 2.
Yep.
I figured I bought the ankle weights from her studio when I was there one time. So I thought, well, I got to be doing it right because I got it from her.
Yeah, that has to be the most correct.
But I definitely, someone that wants to take the reins on that, I think should make a welcome packet or like a Instagram account that's like TAM for newbies or TAM for dummies, and it's just like a bunch of posts of, because I see so much of that, of women that are saying they're brand new to it and they're like, where do I start? Is there an option for this? Is there this? And you know, Tracy and her team, they can't do everything. They can't have, well, I guess they could have like a whole page of like what to do, but even I think a really good thing, like all the centrics, there's so much confusion about them and which one you would be. And I know there's so many women that are confused about glute centric that they think if their butt is big, they're glute centric.
Right.
But it's actually if your glutes are not activating
Right.
flat, then you're glute centric.
Exactly. Yeah, that's something that is totally difficult to figure out. And I think too that new people don't know that you can message the Tracy Anderson online studio account and find out. And it's kind of like all of these, tips. They're not secrets, but just tips people don't learn until they're like infiltrated in this community the way that we are.
Right. I mean, they kind of feel like secrets to us because it's like we know them, but nobody else does.
The secret language and secret ways to find things out. Yeah. But that is a great idea. I'm sure there's people in the Tamily that would
would want to do that.
Yeah, because it could be like a collaboration.
Right. I think that would be good.
Of common things is asking all those questions when people are new.
Yeah. Because then I think that would totally help take that intimidation factor away. Because people would know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or who to ask.
That is a great idea. We need more time in the day because I would love to do that. But
maybe I'll make it a project and I'll start coming up with things or whatever. I'm gonna be next week. Michigan's kind of going back into not officially lockdown, but kind of. Right. So we're gonna be in Florida for 8 weeks. So first, if anyone wants to dance and they're close to Bonita Springs, you're more than welcome to come check out our dance floor. And then, because I know Kimmy is close in Sarasota when she goes down to Florida. So we'll have to and it's outdoors. So, you can be socially distant. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because it's in a garage. So, and the floor is actually really big. It's like a 13 by 15 or something. It's really big.
Wow. That's fantastic.
So, but maybe while I'm in Florida, I'll make that my job of coming up with some tips and tricks.
That would be so cool. So I know we're coming up very close to you actually, but Deanna had a question about centrics in the chat. She said, for glute centric, do you mean that it's to build a flat bum? Because that's exactly what I don't want, as I already have it.
So she has a flat bum?
No, I think she had, I don't know.
Well, so glute centric is if your glutes aren't activating. So they're moves that are targeted specifically to get those muscles to activate, to pop it up. So if you feel like your butt is a pancake, then you would probably be glute centric because it's not lifting and you need those muscles so that it, creates a smile.
What a great way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that hopefully helps. Hopefully there's no one out there with a really, bubble butt that's doing glute centric.
Well, just keep popping it up.
Which might not be a bad thing either.
I mean, you're making sure that those glute muscles are, they're working. Because I know, from a lot of people that did yoga and stuff, there's a ton of people that, your glutes, that is a huge thing that most people, they cannot activate. I can tell you from doing Tracy Anderson, when I run, I'm so much better at it because my glutes fire. And I don't have pain in my hips because my glutes are working. If your glutes aren't firing up, when you're running and stuff, you'll use your hips and they'll probably just get tighter because you need your glutes to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good explanation. That's what I don't remember who it was now, but another Ask Tamily interview said that Tracy will make you good at every other workout, but no
It
other.
is. It's so true. I mean, it really is because, like, if you decide one day you just want to go for a run, you might be amazed at how, like, good you're probably at
Yeah,
because from doing that. Or just like how strong you are. I mean, I
right.
might not physically be able to lift something really, really heavy, but I do feel like if I ever needed to stuff myself into a box, I would be able to because I couldn't get myself into such weird positions.
Yes, exactly. Oh my, the mobility and flexibility.
Yes. That's one thing for I'll say for new people if they're intimidated by flexibility is you have to be persistent with it and it'll come. I mean, some people there's people you're either born super flexible or not. And that's like something in yoga that they always talk to us about. You're either like Gumby or a Tin Man. And but it's better to be more less flexible and have more strength because you can hurt yourself a lot more if you're overly flexible. Where if you have more strength and you're just trying to build your flexibility, you can get that. It's hard to go back from being too flexible.
Right.
So I know, like Tracy talks about that, you don't ever want to push your flexibility because it's hard to come back from it. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, it's been super amazing talking to you, Morgan.
Yeah.
Hour has
Fun.
flown by, so we're at like 60 seconds left. Is there anything else you want to say to the Tamily while you have this audience?
Um, well, I hope that I'm gonna try, and now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm gonna try to post more.
That would be
Because
awesome.
it's fun. Like, I have fun doing it, and I know from the people that like I met at the Vitality Week or in Chicago, there or even women that I haven't met but maybe who have commented on like some of my stuff. I feel like if I was in their hometown and we wanted to do a workout, like I would be totally comfortable around them and doing that. And so it is such a community to be a part of, and I'm going to try to be more active in it. Instead of just looking at everyone's videos and liking them, I'll try to post some more too.
That would be fantastic. We would love to see more posts from
Okay.
you.
I'll try my best cuz I have to show my different tam caves because
Totally.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud of them.
Yeah. I
And if
didn't even know there
anyone,
was three. That's
yeah,
unbelievable.
if anyone needs any tips or tricks on their room, I've got all your answers.
You're gonna start getting some messages
Oh
for
yeah. Well, we have done so much research on like different things. Oh, one other, this is really I think important. If this is my one tip, if you do your workout on a laptop or an iPad, going to a TV is life changing because she looks like an ant on the
Yeah.
computer. And then when you get on a big TV, like I use like a 30-inch TV, so it's not even that big.
Yeah.
But it's like I can see what her fingers are doing.
Yeah, exactly. It
So
makes a huge difference.
that would be a huge recommendation for anyone that feels like they want to just get better with the form. Just being able to see her better is totally life changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's
Excellent
it.
tip for that Tam newbie account. That would be a great thing.
There you go. That could be my first post.
Yes.
Take your TV out of your living room and just turn the cartoons off for your kids, walk away with it, and start
Right.
using it. Your 50-inch TV that you used in your living room, you just stole.
Oh my gosh, a huge TV would be great.
I did one time I tested my Fire Stick on our like 65-inch TV and I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing."
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
felt like I was next to her.
yeah, yeah. That's a good
So
idea.
it's fun. It's fun to do it on a big TV just now and then.
Totally. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Morgan, for being
Thank
interviewed.
you. Thanks for asking me.
Absolutely. We'll be looking out for your posts.
Okay, I'll try.
Thanks. Thanks for watching,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.